What's better than $2 Tuesday at Sports Memo? How about Freebie Friday? We can't go any lower than free, and each and every Friday we'll hand select a best bet from one of the hottest handicappers on the site and give it out for free. All you have to do is each and every Friday, head over to sportsmemo.com. The Freebie Friday will be listed on the homepage, and you'll be just a click away from a free bet.
You filling in for Drew today, Joe?
Yeah. All right, guys, welcome in. Happy Friday to you here. Time for another edition of First Pitch, powered by WagerTalk.com. Loaded slate on the card here today. Some very interesting game ones of some, well, very important series here as we inch a little bit closer to the postseason. Hope it's been a profitable week to you. We're going to do our best to make it a profitable Friday. On the diamond, we're going to do it with absolutely two of the finest Major League Baseball handicappers at Wager Talk. Please welcome in Mr. Dave Cokin, Mr. Bryan Leonard, two of the best gentlemen. Happy Friday to you. Bryan, my friends, how's the week been going, man? And what's new and exciting on the diamond over at Wager Talk for you?
Yeah, everything's going well. Plays have been hard to come by with these high lines. I was just talking to Dave earlier. It's either the haves or the have-nots right now, and they're really making you pay a price to play on the haves. But they continue to win, so they're going to continue to get money, and that's one of the things we got to work on. We're trying to get as many winners as possible, but we don't want to overpay, and that makes it tougher when you've got so many games that $2 and favorites on $2 and higher favorites on today's card.
Yeah, no, and they keep running 25 cents before it's all said and done. And Dave, I don't know if you know this. I believe the Tigers game went over yesterday with the Angels. we were on the show yesterday, Bryan, that we could not believe. We kept kicking ourselves going, why didn't we? We knew this was coming. But how was the rest of the night for you, Dave? What do you got going at Wager Talk now?
Well, I had nothing at all yesterday. I did post a couple of college football plays. One is free. And if you go to Twitter right now at Dave Cokin, or if you go to my homepage at Wager Talk, which is wt.buzz/DC, you'll find that play for college football. And one other best bet for college football. I didn't do anything in baseball yesterday. I did play a couple of games today. They're in a small package at Wager Talk. So if you want my baseball tonight, that's where to get it.
All right. Well, listen, plenty of games on the board here today. We're going to dive into four of them for you. We're going to start with the White Sox taking on the Tampa Bay Rays, and that is not a misprint. Yes, the Rays are at home, and the Rays are an underdog here as Giolito going up against Michael Wacha. Total 8.5, almost a pick'em category there. Bryan, I'll come to you first. It has not been great for Michael Wacha as of late, or at least since the All-Star break. So are you shocked the White Sox on the road as a favorite here?
I wanted to play the White Sox, but I wanted to play him at a pick'em or an underdog. I guess that means that everybody's feeling the same way I am about Michael Wacha right now. Yeah, he's the only guy in this starting rotation that really has not pitched well as of late. And he's pitched poorly on the season overall compared to what you would get out of this Tampa Bay team. In fact, I would think, based on everybody they have on the injured list and all the great relievers they have, he's probably the worst pitcher they have in the clubhouse. And yet they continue to trot him out there. Hopefully he can turn it around, but it'll be tough to do against the White Sox. Giolito's the superior pitcher. I like the Tampa bullpen. I like the Chicago bullpen now that they've got the closer from the Cubs over there in the 8th inning, so they've been tough to beat. But even though I don't like to lay a number with Chicago against a winning team, which they haven't performed very well against, that'd be the only side I'd look at here. The White Sox hitting very well at the moment. They've got some healthy players back in the lineup, and their catcher's about ready to come back and join them. So he's not having a good year, but he's a big improvement offensively at catcher. So the White Sox, things are looking good for the White Sox. If they can start beating some winning teams, this may be a team that can have some success in the playoffs.
So they lost yesterday, Dave, as Oakland came back, but they've been really good after a loss this year. 32 of 50, in fact, they have won after a loss here. Do you like them in this spot on the road?
Well, I don't like Walker. I can tell you that. Look at his last 3 starts. He's lasted 14 innings. He's given up 30 hits, 18 runs. He's also walked 5 batters. And if you've watched the games, he's in the middle of the plate. And, you know, you get in the middle of the plate, you're going to get hit. So there's no possible way I can take Tampa. Why didn't I take the White Sox? I might be asking myself that later on because it kind of looks like a decent bet. I don't want a full game because the White Sox don't beat winning teams. They've feasted on the weak competition this year, have not stood up well against the better teams. And Tampa, Cash just knows how to move the right pieces in and out. As far as the bullpen's concerned, so late games, they're tough to beat. But first 5, certainly consider the White Sox, but the price went way up. It's minus 140 in the first 5. So, you know, Giolito's the superior guy here. Walker's a straight fade right now. If you're going to do anything with this game, I'd go the minus half run route over the first 5. And would think the White Sox have a pretty good chance to come out on top as far as that option goes.
Total holding strong at 8.5 as well. Not a lot of movement yet there in the total, guys. Tampa and Chicago, 7:10 is going to be the first pitch in that game. And we're going to move on to game number 2 here on the card. And we've got an interesting one here with the Yankees, who continue to be red hot here. I believe 7 in a row now after the win last night. Cortez and that fantastic mustache there, Brian, heading the mound there, taking on Barnes in Minnesota. Tell me what you think. Total is 10, and that might not be high enough. What do you think of the Yanks and the Twins here tonight?
Yeah, Nestor Cortez. I've always liked this guy, but he never really gotten a chance. But now that he's getting out there and pitching, you can look at his numbers and see that he's done very well. His worst start since they made him a starter has been a 42-game score against Kansas City of all teams, at Kansas City even. But he's been very good all along, very consistent. I like what I see out of him. The Yankees have dominated the Twins over the years, especially in the playoffs. The Twins are a team, actually, after they traded away just about everybody they had, they're playing better ball. Very much a surprise there. They finally get to the point where they're starting to play decent ball, but they're too far out of the playoffs to make any type of difference. So I don't like fading Minnesota, but if I do fade Minnesota, it's going to be against the Yankees here. Yankees are just playing great ball. And it's not just that they're winning. They're winning against good teams. They took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox, swept the Boston Red Sox. I'm sure Dave wasn't happy about that, but they swept the Red Sox 3 straight. They beat the Angels. They beat Minnesota. The Yankees playing really good ball right now. I prefer the Yankees in this game. The line's a little higher than what I would like to make it, but that's what you're going to have to do at this time of the year. Is sometimes you got to play it and you got to lay a little bit more than what you would like, knowing that the line's probably still going to go up even higher. And so I prefer the Yankee side in this one. Hats off to Minnesota. I know one of their big power bats, the first baseman, is out. He's got something going on, so they just cut him. So it's less power for Minnesota in this game against Cortez. So not a big average guy, but he does provide some power on a team that has traded away some pretty good players. So like the Yankees here, especially in the first 5, although the Minnesota bullpen hasn't been very good all year. So I'm very, very fine taking that for the full game for the Yankees. And I think the line still goes up a little higher. Laying some chalk for myself today.
All right, laying some chalk. 15-4 with that win yesterday, Dave, is what the Yankees are in the month of August. And, I mean, who'd have thunk it? Luke Voigt's your leadoff hitter, and you guys are dominating right now, and he's doing pretty well also. Gives you an opportunity to have Rizzo and Voigt in a lineup at the same time.
Yeah, this will be a very quick analysis. The Yankees should win this game easily. I could sit here and bullshit for 10 seconds or 10 minutes. But you got a lefty on the mound. The Yankees have killed lefties. Cortez is pitching well. The team's on a big roll. So there you go. Yankees should win the game. I didn't lay 240 or whatever it was just because I don't lay 240, but I wouldn't argue against it.
Yep, I did see 10.5 at some places too. It came down at 10 for a little while, so it's bouncing back and forth there with the total guys. But that game tonight, getting ready. Yankees looking to roll. 7:05 first pitch in the Bronx there. We'll move on, of course, to game number 3 here on the card tonight, and the Mariners taking on the Astros. Kikuchi taking on McCullers here. Total holding strong at 8.5. And we've got, minus 180 for the Astros and McCullers, who's taken a lot of money in his starts this year, Dave. You think his success continues here?
I think this is an interesting game. From a value standpoint, and it didn't make my card, but I was tempted to take Seattle. This Mariners team's I like the way they play. I mean, they're not a great team by any means, but they play with a real chip on their shoulders. They've made this no respect thing work for them. I think it starts with service in the dugout and is spread throughout the team. They had a little dip after the Graveman trade, which seemed to unsettle the clubhouse, but they put that behind them. And actually, I think part of the reason they put that behind them is that Abraham Toro, who was the key guy that went over to Seattle in this deal, has actually done quite well with the Mariners. That'll make a team happy. And they've, and the bullpen's picked up the pieces. I mean, if you look at the raw data, certainly Houston looks like the right side in the game. McCullers is the better pitcher, although Kikuchi's had a good year. But again, the price factors in, and I think that chip on the shoulder mentality matters. Plus the fact the Astros are down a couple of guys right now. I think Tucker's still out, if I'm not mistaken, and Bregman is certainly out. I mean, it's still a dangerous lineup, but they haven't exactly crushed the ball. They were kind of fortunate to get the last game in Kansas City. They did not play well in that series, did come back and win the game in extra innings. But I think you can make a case that from a value standpoint, Seattle at plus a big price tonight is probably the side I would go with from a betting standpoint.
It's a very interesting matchup here, Brian, from the standpoint of, Dave said they were fortunate to get out of Kansas City with one win. They lost 3 out of 4 there. It'll be good to get home because they've had some success in their own ballpark there at Minute Maid. They've won 61% of their home games this season. Does that continue here tonight, do you think?
Yeah, first game back from a road trip to Los Angeles and Kansas City. Interesting, both of these teams played overtime games, extra inning games yesterday, and they didn't play each other. Seattle had to go 11 to beat Texas, and the Houston has to go 10 to beat Kansas City. The Houston offense just isn't really performing well. They've talked about a couple of the missing bats. They scored 3 runs in regulation yesterday, 2 the day before, 1 the day before against the Kansas City Royals. Now, I like the young guys from the Kansas City Royals starting rotation, but that's the best series the Royals starters have had all season long, and it was against the Houston Astros. You take a look at Houston going back to their last 10 games. They played Minnesota once at home. They played Colorado twice. They played the Angels, Kansas City. It's not like they're playing world beaters, and they've gone 5-5 their last 10, 10-10 their last 20. Houston's not really playing good ball right now, as opposed to Seattle. Their last 10, they've gone 8-2, last 20, 11-9, last 30, 17-13. So they've been better than Houston's been, even going back a full month. And they played, just played the Yankees. They played Toronto. So, other than the Texas series, they played Texas twice. They played better opposition. I prefer the Seattle side here. No doubt McCullers is a good pitcher. McCullers is a terrific pitcher when he's healthy. But Kikuchi is one of those guys that he made some changes coming into the season, and he's pitched very well. 3.82 ERA for a team that's finding ways to win close games. We talked about it all season long. Extra innings for the Mariners, 11-4, 1-run games, 26-14. Houston is a team that has a losing record in extra innings and in 1-run games. So if the game gets clutch late in the game, it's a nice price here to get on Seattle. I prefer Seattle in this game. It's probably one of my top plays, and we'll probably reach back and talk about this a little bit more when it gets to best bets.
All right, total also hovering around 8.5. Kikuchi's ERA much better on the road, and McCullers has been pretty good. 206 batting average is what opponents have against him. So 8.5 with the total there at Minute Maid Park tonight. We'll take a look at our 4th and final game here before we get to those best bets, which should also be a great game here between the Giants and the Oakland A's, the Battle of the Bay going on here. Kaplernigan taking on Alex Wood. And Dave, I'll come to you first. I think this should be a very fun series to watch. What do you think we're going to get here tonight in Game 1?
I agree. I think it's going to be a terrific series, probably the best series in baseball this weekend. Rivalry. Both teams are playing well. Both teams look like they have a good chance to make the playoffs, particularly the Giants. And it starts off with a pretty good matchup with Alex Wood on the mound against Caprillion. Wood has been off and on the last month, and it actually has not been particularly good on the road all season. His OPS away from San Francisco is only 793, so it's pretty average at best, maybe a little below average. Caprillion, on the other hand, has been very good at home. OPS at home is 560. Those are good numbers. So I think there's a bit of an edge on the mound for the A's. Price-wise, I don't think you get any particular value there. I mean, look, the Giants have the best record in baseball, and so unless you're getting plus money against them, I think we're this deep into the season, 120 games into the season, I think it's safe to say the Giants aren't a fluke, and they're legitimately one of the best teams in baseball. It's as simple as that. Kapler's done an incredible job of using the whole roster. They lead the league in pinch hit appearances. Now, obviously, that's going to be a National League team, but they're well ahead of everybody else. I mean, he uses everybody. And to me, even though I kind of like Oakland in this spot, I'm just not getting enough money to make it worth the bet. If I was getting maybe plus 120 or something like that, I'd go ahead and take a shot. But I'm not. And again, everything's about the price. Opinion, A's win. Not worth a bet. In my opinion, at roughly even money. You got to get something, and you're not, so I'll skip it and move on to another one. But as far as prediction on the game goes, I'd go with the Oakland side.
It could be a very big pitching matchup here, kind of a pitcher's duel, especially in that park. Brian, how much stock do you put into the day off for the Giants? Oakland having to play in Chicago yesterday, flying back. You look at that at all?
Definitely look at that, especially when you take a look at what Oakland's done. The last 10 games have been on the road. They play in Cleveland, they play in Texas, they play in Chicago. Got to get on a flight back from Chicago to Oakland. They're back home for the first game. I know Marco is huge on fading teams coming back for the first game. And they're doing so not only against the team that just has to cross the bridge to get there, but the team that had yesterday off. So there's a definite advantage here for the Giants from a scheduling standpoint. It's one of those things right now where San Francisco has gotten a lot of pub, Oakland not as much. Oakland, I've always admired this Oakland A's organization. They don't spend a lot of money on the players for the most part. The fans they have are genuine fans. They don't sell out the place, but they've got really good fans in that city. And it'd be a shame if we see them leave. I know, Vegas is talking about Oakland possibly coming here. It'd be a shame if Oakland loses another baseball team, but I'd still love to see him come here in Vegas. But Caprillion is a better pitcher than Alex Wood. Alex Wood's just been very inconsistent. He'll look really good one game, and the next game he really struggles. So I think the pitching advantage from the starters is with Oakland, but everything else points me towards the Giants. But the line is where I thought it should be. So with this many games on the card, games that I think have a little bit more value than this, I'm going to enjoy watching this game, but I'm not going to have any money on it.
Hard to believe Caprillion made his major league debut earlier this season. He's come a long way too for a young guy. Good stuff there.
He's not that young.
Well,
he's not that young.
Yes.
Caprillion, he's 27 or 28. He was a really high prospect when he got drafted. He unfortunately had just a ridiculous number of injuries, and it was thought that his career might be over. So he's really battled back. But you can see if you watch him pitch. I mean, you can see why this guy was so highly regarded as a draft choice years back. He's good.
Yeah, he's really good. Let's knock on wood he can stay healthy here moving forward for them. All right, guys, that's those are 4 games on the board here today. Of course, we do have some best bets that we're going to get to, but I do want to remind you it is Friday. Weekend is here. There's a lot going on over the next couple of weeks, but there is no reason not to make it a profitable Friday, Saturday, Sunday right now. If you head over to WagerTalk.com, you heard Dave tell you he's already got some college football plays up, ready, locked, and loaded. MLB all weekend long. No reason not to visit Brian's page, Dave's page, 3-day all-access pass. Get you access to every play they got, guys, heading into this weekend. So a lot of opportunities to profit here. And it starts tonight on the card, Bri. So talk to us here. What's the game that you got circled for a best bet for us?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Seattle going to Houston. I like Seattle. I think I can understand why Houston's favored, but I think the line is too high. I talked about Houston's bats are not hitting well right now. Lance McCullers is a terrific pitcher, no doubt about it. But I prefer Kikuchi and the Mariners at that price. Do I think in the long run Houston will win? If they played 100 times, they would win more games? Sure. Houston's the better team playing at home. Dave talked about, I think Joe talked about how good they play at home. But in this situation, with the way this game's playing out, the line's just too high. Couldn't pass up the Mariners in this price range. The Mariners are my best bet on today's show.
All right, going Mariners here tonight. How about it, Dave? Which way are you going to go?
I did play this game. It's the Angels-Indians matchup. The one thing I don't like is the Angels are coming out of an incredible game yesterday where they're down a ton and came all the way back and won with 11 straight runs. So hopefully they've still got some life left in the body. But they do have some positive momentum. They've actually gotten back over 500. They're in the race. I mean, they're a long shot, but they're not out of this thing yet. And they've got a chance to do some damage this weekend against the Cleveland team that's obviously beatable. I think the edge here is on the starting pitching. Now, not that I'm a big Berea fan, but he's been markedly better than Sam Hentges, especially as a starter. If you just forget the bullpen stuff that they've each had. Barrios' OPS as a starting pitcher versus Hentges as a starting pitcher, it's a plus 189 advantage for Berea. That's substantial. And to me, first five here is an acceptable price. I think the Angels should be about minus 120 first five, and instead it's pick 'em. It was actually plus 105. It's now minus 105. So there's enough value there for me to go ahead and make a bet on this game. I took the Angels first five tonight.
Yeah, 4 starts this year, 3 of the 4 quality starts. So certainly has been cruising for him there tonight. That game going on, I believe, 7:10 first pitch tonight there for the Angels and the Indians. And guys, don't forget, once again, head over to WagerTalk.com. Let's make it a profitable Friday, as well as a Saturday and Sunday 3-day all-access passes available for both Dave and Brian over at WagerTalk.com. So there you got it, guys. Hope it's been a profitable week. We'll continue moving along with the MLB season here as we get ready for the final month just around the corner. We'll be back on Monday, so will Drew Martin. But until then, guys, on behalf of Bryan Leonard and Dave Cokin, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Get notified every time we go live, and make sure you have a profitable weekend. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Good luck.
What's better than $2 Tuesday at Sports Memo? How about Freebie Friday? We can't go any lower than free, and each and every Friday we'll hand select a best bet from one of the hottest handicappers on the site and give it out for free. All you have to do is each and every Friday, head over to sportsmemo.com. The Freebie Friday will be listed on the homepage, and you'll be just a click away from a free bet.